church lost two giants. Not popes or bishops, priests or monks or nuns, but two lay people who really were amazing voices for what it truly means to be a shepherd. A lot of times when we think about this Good Shepherd Sunday, which we hear something about the Good Shepherd every fourth Sunday in Easter, a lot of times people lift up priests or bishops or people discerning ordained ministry. But these two individuals were shepherds in their own right. And I wanted to kind of reflect upon them, their role as being a shepherd, and also our responsibility of being shepherds. The first person I want to reflect upon is someone I've talked about before, and that's Jean Vanier. And Jean Vanier died at age 90 this week. He was Canadian. He had a career in the government. He decided to give up that career in the government to live with people who are mentally and physically disabled. And I'm not saying just come in and help them as an aid, but actually live with them as a family. And he formed a community called L'Arche, which means ark, like Noah's Ark. And it's a beautiful community. If you ever come in contact with these houses, they're not just social service agencies or anything like that, but they're truly families, communities, people living together, some able-bodied, some less than able-bodied, and they live together in this beautiful example of community and family. For most people, these individuals would be people that would be so challenging, so difficult, people that we want to avoid. But what Vanier said was it was important to live with these people, to be with them in their woundedness, in their fragility. And then by living with them, by sharing their sorrows, by sharing their joys, it's something beautiful. And that's what really Vanier wanted to stress, was this idea that shepherding people requires being with people, living with people. And we hear that expression a lot of times that Pope Francis speaks about, that a shepherd needs to smell like their sheep, to be with them, to embrace them. And that was one thing I saw when I was in the Holy Land this past winter, that shepherds are actually one of the poorest occupations in the Middle East. These are people that really live on the edges, because people don't want to hang out with you if you smell like sheep, period. You know, if you drive throughout Israel and Palestine, you see corrugated metal shacks, basically. And that's where the Bedouin shepherds live. They just scrape an existence by. But more importantly for us, they live there every day with their sheep. They literally live with them. The sheep aren't there, and you're over there. The sheep and the shepherd are one, and a nice, stinky, smelling mess. And I think that idea of Vanier and the shepherd are very much the same. That sometimes the only way you can really experience someone and their life and their journey is just being with them. A lot of times people ask me about, how do I help someone who's suffering, who's dying? When I don't know what the answers are or what the right words to say or not say. And I would say, just be like the shepherd. Just be there. You don't have to offer any words of wisdom or advice. Just be there. And I think that's the important image that we need to take from this Sunday. Is that being a shepherd requires you to just be there. To be there when life gets stinky. And trust me, when I came close to some of these shepherds, deodorant wasn't a thing. Sheep and goats are not that attractive when you come there with people in their pain. Be there with people in their joys. Be with people. Just be. The other person I wanted to reflect upon this day is someone on the opposite end of the spectrum. And that's Rachel Held Evans. And Rachel was not 90. She was 37 who died this week. And Rachel's journey, I think, is very important for us because she was raised in a very conservative evangelical family. And she realized that that's not where the Spirit was calling her to be. And she was a blogger. That's how she did her ministry, her shepherding. And she blogged about her spiritual journey out of the evangelical church and struggled with some of the many spiritual practices and theologies of her early years. But she moved beyond them. And she landed where? In the Episcopal Church. And she just, in the last couple of years, really found her home within the Episcopal Church and its history and its liturgy and its traditions. She, in many ways, shepherded people in a different way, but in some ways similar. She wanted to be with her people as people had their journey. She wanted to embrace people through their struggles and their faults and their failures. That the strict evangelicalism of her youth, where there was just black and white, many times morphed into the many shades of gray. That we all know gray is God's probably favorite color. And that sometimes we need people to help you through that process. Not with judgment, not with condemnation, but help people gently through the process. And in many ways, this 90-year-old and this 37-year-old were the same person. Sure, they looked a lot different, their lives were different. One was American, one was Canadian, one was older, one was younger, one was Catholic, one was Episcopal. But both of their lives were being about shepherding, about being with people through their struggles. And it's interesting, I was kind of perusing some of their writings this week, and both of them were basically saying the same thing. This comes from Jean Vanier. I am struck by the sharing of our weaknesses and difficulties is more nourishing to others than sharing qualities and successes. Growth begins when we share our weaknesses. Rachel writes this: we are closer to God with our vulnerabilities than with our safe successes. We're closer to God with our vulnerabilities. In both cases, Rachel and John realized that life is about sharing our weaknesses. And those weaknesses could be physical, those weaknesses could be emotional, those weaknesses could be spiritual. On this Good Shepherd Sunday, let's realize that being a shepherd doesn't require a collar, or a mitre, or a crozier. It just requires us to be who we are, to be with people in their successes, but also in their brokenness, in their failures, and sometimes even their stinkiness.